In the heart of a town that buzzed with life, there stood a magnificent old clock tower.
Its spire reached for the clouds, and for generations, its steady, rhythmic ticking had been the town's heartbeat.
It told everyone when to wake, when to work, when to play, and when to rest.
It was the town's quiet guardian. But over time, as new gadgets and busy schedules took over, the town's heartbeat began to falter.
The deep, resonant chime that once marked the hours grew faint, and one gray morning, it fell silent altogether. At first, nobody seemed to notice.
Or perhaps they chose not to. But soon, a subtle chaos crept into the town.
The baker, who once relied on the 6 o'clock chime,
Now opened his shop late, leaving early risers waiting for their morning bread.
Students, without the clock's timely reminder, would dawdle and miss the start of their lessons.
Friends arranged to meet, but without a common reference for time.
They would arrive at different moments, missing each other entirely.
The town, once so synchronized, was now a place of missed connections and quiet confusion.
The silence from the tower was louder than any sound it had ever made.
Among the townsfolk was a young boy named Adele. He was quiet and observant, with a heart full of curiosity.
Every day, on his way to the market, he would pause and gaze up at the silent giant.
He'd see the motionless hands, frozen as if in a sigh.
He missed the familiar tick-tock that felt like a steady, reassuring friend. To him, the tower wasn't just a building. It was a keeper of memories, a storyteller.
He'd think to himself, time is a gift. It shouldn't be silent.
It shouldn't be forgotten. The silence felt like a sadness that had settled over his home.
One bright afternoon, with the sun casting long shadows on the cobblestones, Adele made a decision. He gathered a small canvas bag, placing inside a soft cloth, a small brush, and a little bottle of oil his grandfather used for his own tinkering.
He wasn't a clockmaker, but he had a patient heart and a desire to help.
He slipped into the tower's forgotten entrance.
inside, a long, winding staircase spiraled up into the darkness, like a path into a forgotten tale.
Dust motes danced in the slivers of light that pierced through the narrow windows.
We touched step. The air grew cooler and smelled of old wood and resting metal. He finally reached the clock's chamber.
It was a cavern of shadows, filled with a complex web of gears, levers, and wheels, all covered in a thick blanket of dust.
It was a sleeping giant. Adele wasn't intimidated.
He saw not a mess, but a puzzle waiting to be solved.
He gently took out his cloth and began to wipe away the years of neglect.
He used his small brush to delicately clean the intricate teeth of the gears, revealing the gleaming brass beneath. He saw where a small cog had slipped and where a lever was stuck. He carefully nudged them back into place.
He added a single, perfect drop of oil to the main axle, watching it spread like liquid gold.
After what felt like hours, everything seemed to be in its rightful place.
Adele stood back, his heart pounding with a mix of hope and nervousness.
He took a deep breath and gave the giant pendulum a gentle, hopeful push. For a moment, there was only silence. And then,
A soft click, followed by a deep, resonant tick, and another
T-O-C-K. The sound was slow at first, then grew stronger, more confident. The giant was waking up.
The familiar, rhythmic heartbeat echoed through the chamber, and soon it spilled out of the tower, cascading over the rooftops and into the streets below. Down in the town square, people stopped in their tracks.
They looked up, their faces a mixture of surprise and joy.
The baker smiled. The students quickened their pace.
And friends checked their watches, a renewed sense of order settling over them.
the sound was more than just time.
It was a return to harmony, a gentle reminder of their shared rhythm. High above, Adele Adil watched, his heart swelling with a quiet happiness.
He hadn't sought praise or attention.
He had simply seen a need and acted with care.
As he quietly made his way back down the spiral stairs, the steady tick-tock followed him, a comforting thank you.
He stepped back out into the sunlit town, which now felt brighter and more alive.
Adil understood something profound that day. Responsibility isn't a burden.
It's a quiet act of love, a trust we are given. And sometimes, even the smallest hand, guided by a caring heart, can help set a whole world back in motion.